Hi there, and for today's video I've got a question here from Christy. And Christy's saying that she's running a 6.55 mile trail marathon. So in other words, it's a trail marathon whereby each lap is 6.55 miles in length. And she's allowed to have a drop bag at the start finish area that she can access at the end of each lap should she choose to. And she's asking, would I use a drop bag in a situation like that, and what would I put into it, or what should she put into it for that matter? Well, Christy, for starters, what I would be looking at if I were in your situation and I had the option of a drop bag at the end of each 6.5 miles during the course of a trail marathon, yes, I most definitely would make use of a drop bag. And secondly, as far as what I'd put into that drop bag is concerned, I would start off with something along the lines of Body Glide, some sort of an anti-chafing cream, so that if you do start developing any sort of chafing during the course of your trail marathon, you can stop off quickly, get some anti-chafe cream on, and just make the remainder of your marathon just so much more pleasant. What I'd also do is, into my drop bag, I'd have a couple of clean pairs of socks into my drop bag as well, so that if my socks start getting damp and they start rubbing me and I start getting towards rubbing a blister, I can switch out a pair of socks into a pair of clean socks and prevent the onset of the blister, and again to make the remainder of my trail marathon a more pleasant experience. Also, if you are going to be switching out your socks, a small bottle of talcum powder to sprinkle some talcum powder into your shoes to dry out the inside of your shoes when you put your fresh socks into them, again for the more pleasant overall trail running experience. And I'm taking it that, like me, you wouldn't be pushing for winning the trail marathon, so in other words, you'd be looking at utilizing your drop bag as far as making your overall experience a more pleasant one. Then, depending on the nature of the route and what's happening, if it's a really technical trail with lots of thorny plants and such like along the way, maybe even pop into your drop bag one of your a spare pair of trail shoes, maybe your previous to current set of trail shoes as a spare pair in case a shoe gets ripped or something like that, and you can switch out a shoe or your shoes at the transition area, and again making your trail run experience more pleasant. Then from my side, because I'm focused more on whole food plant-based nutrition, I'll be looking at what does your trail marathon have in terms of aid stations, as far as what sort of foodstuffs are available at your aid stations, and then if there's something within your personal nutritional needs that's not covered in the aid stations, maybe put some of that into your drop bag as well. That way, again, you can be racing on the type of nutrition that you've gotten yourself used to during the course of training. And most aid stations, from my perspective, most aid stations carry things like bananas in them, but what I might have is a couple of small jacket boiled potatoes. I might have a couple of dates in some bags as well. And for me, when I'm talking about putting dates in as far as my nutrition is concerned, what I do is, before putting the dates into my drop bag, what I'll do is I'll split the date open, pull the seed out, squish the date back together, and then pop it in. That way, the dates stay together because they're obviously soft and squishy, but you get rid of the hard stone. So which means, because the last thing you want to do is to be grabbing a handful of dates, shoving it in your mouth, bite down hard, and chip a tooth on the stone during the course of your trail run while you're focusing on something else. And also, for that matter, if you've got the stones with you, where do you go to with the stones? Yes, to a certain extent you could say biodegradable or growing new date palms along the side of the trail, but I'd rather not be littering myself, so I remove the stones at home, dispose of them at home, and take the dates out with me in my drop bag. So I'll be putting small jack of potatoes and dates in there as whole food plant-based nutrition. Some other guys might be using some specialist product, like for instance Tailwind, Hammer products, or whatever the case may be. I don't go in for any of those. I go for whole food plant-based nutrition, so that's what I put in my drop bag. So just to recap: Body Glide, talcum powder, some spare socks, a spare set of shoes, and whatever you're needing in terms of your nutrition. If it's a hot sunny day, don't forget to pack some sunscreen into your drop bag, and possibly a spare peak cap to keep the sun out of your eyes should you lose yours somewhere along the trail in one of the laps. That's my take on the matter. Share your comments and questions and criticisms down below. If you like this type of video format, give me a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. That way I know what to be putting out in the future. And last but by no means least, don't forget to click that big red subscribe button that you see down there. That way you stay subscribed to my channel for all of the new content that comes out on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. Stay carved up for the win out there. I'll see you next time. Cheers.